Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another mod stream. I'm Pronogo. Here we are. Going to be working on some HYDRA. And I've actually been modding some things other than HYDRA lately, which I think is actually kind of cool. Not going to lie. I think it's some of the more interesting stuff I've been able to do here. So I just wanted to let you guys in on the secret. So I've actually been able to mod YouTube. And so something a little bit different happens now. If you hit that like button and that subscribe button, there's like some custom effects. You should check it out. It looks pretty cool. Looks pretty epic. So just want to share that little public service announcement there. What's up, Balethal? So I've also got this that just released earlier today, a couple minutes ago. It's pretty epic. Vu and I have done a talk show. We started at one. Actually, yesterday is when we live streamed it, but it's out now. You can watch that if you're into CS stuff. We recapped Blast Premier, which is a pretty big tournament that happened. But that's it for content plugs. We're jumping in now. Yeah, what's up, Kian? How did you know, dude? That's crazy. You picked up on that one quick. The special effect that I modded into the YouTube like button was counteracting the token 5 dislikes or whatever keeps happening. All right, I gotta stash this item thing I've been writing for a fucking meme roguelike game that I've started to conceptualize. Because I've been playing Risk of Rain 2 with my brother. And as with any fucking game that I ever end up playing, it doesn't matter how interesting or fun the actual game is. I keep thinking, but what if I did this? And how much better would it actually be? And so then I start thinking about stuff. So I don't know if it'll actually go anywhere, but... we'll stuff it in there for now. Yeah, you want to see the special effect until Christmas? Just getting my stuff set up here on the other monitor. I think we'll be what will we be working on today? I wanted to get more work done on the Queen's changes, but I was not successful in doing that last time. I'm not sure if it's possible for me to detect when a specific unit is created, because we have a unit destructor special, but we don't have like a unit spawn special or unit create special or anything. So the weird thing is that the last time that I was testing this stuff, right? We have I guess I can just say parasite and incubators. So we had it so that parasite and incubators would fire the proc, but they wouldn't actually increase the regeneration or the energy of the queen. So this proc would fire, but it wouldn't actually... oh, well, I think I know why. That's pretty embarrassing, actually. There we go. Prank. But so that proc was firing, but then we're still getting energy back when you cast Broodspawn, which doesn't technically matter because Broodspawn's being removed soon. So I don't know why that would... I just don't know why that would happen. I'm not sure what else, where else there's code. I'm not sure where the code is actually for that. So still trying to figure that out. But let's see if that fixed it. Because we were doing the math, but not actually assigning it to anything, which is pretty hilarious. So Icor and I have been doing some desync testing as well. We're a little bit closer to understanding the cause, but every single time we think that, we don't fully finish it, so... well, that definitely worked, it would seem. Get him. Bully that man. All right. Yeah, it looks like it's working in an AoE sense now. Incubators and some other stuff. Yeah. So incubators is working and parasite is working. So like both of those are working for the sake of the whatever it's called. Fuck. Why can't I remember it? Parasite and incubators for the energy regeneration thing. So that makes sense. There's some image ID that I'm currently using for... Maybe it's an update unit state? Oh, no, I think it would be in unit destructor special, actually. So we have to check out where the... Oh, it's actually right here. Create underlay 425. Okay. So should we create underlay 425? All right, so we'll just say... We'll reuse that read for now. In theory, I can come up with something a little bit more thematic. That still feels... Wait, let me do that one again. Still feels thematic. Still feels readable. But this will help me know for sure. Although I guess I should also detect... so if it's less than full, basically, that should run, and otherwise it should not run, and that way we won't have overlays created over full energy queens. So this is super easy to test as well. Because we'll be able to do it just based on this. Yep. Okay, so it only applied to these ones, which is pretty good. There you go. What's up, Tideman? This is GPTP, which is not involved at all with Brood War API, as far as I understand. I think WAPI is completely separate, and obviously was mostly done for... It's mostly used right now for writing custom AI using C++. We don't do that for our AI. This is a completely different plugin project altogether, from my understanding. So if we were to go to the modding starter guide, if you go to tools, there's a general plugin template project, code-based project for writing plugins in C++ that can drastically change the game and its functions, allowing users to add spells, change effects, and more. So you can download and fork GPTP from its GitHub link. I'm not sure how up-to-date that is. We have a version that's probably a few features behind in terms of the main version, but obviously has a whole host of features that are not related to the old one at all. And we use Visual Studio 2019 to actually write the code. So this is actually linked if you wanted to get started with their build of it. It's definitely going to be missing some key things that we have, and I'm sure we have some things that might be key to your work that they like, where we might be missing a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can't do any of this in 1.16.1, right? So, I mean, in remastered. You're basically limited to whatever Knave, who's a tool dev for the remastered patch. He's the reason why you can mod the game at all, and you're limited entirely to what he is willing to support or capable of supporting. So there's not really much of a reason to, go much like without the ability to do some of this stuff. I don't see the... Don't see much of a point to trying to do it. Although I'm just remembering that Fagudo actually gave me some steps to turn off the Ice Dragon issues that I was having, or to fix the Ice Dragon issues. So I'm assuming this would be Ice Dragon distribution. I don't have that. So I guess I will have to create it if I don't have it. Okay. Might need a restart as well. But. Well, yeah, so the main issue that I have is actually, ironically enough, I think the accessibility argument for remastered is actually a load of shit. And by that I mean there is no way for you to verify that your mod will work indeterminately. There will always be a point where it breaks, as far as we've known from history. Like, eventually they're going to abandon the platform, and at that point it might become viable for modding if there's enough people interested in doing tool dev for it, and if there's enough people interested in actually doing the modding and essentially discovering and reverse engineering all of the same things that we have in 1.16.1. But only in those cases, and those are a lot of ifs. Like, you have to first guarantee that Blizzard is not going to come back in and patch the game again. Then you've got to persuade people to actually reverse engineer the game in the first place to anywhere close to the level of completion that we have the reverse engineering done on 1.16.1. And it's going to take a lot of time to do that. So that's what you would need to make some stable things. But until that point comes, you are stuck constantly updating your mod. First, you've got to wait for Nave to update Samace if Samace breaks, because sometimes some patches do break Samace, and he has to fix that. Then, after you've downloaded the Samace update, you've got to repackage your mod, which is relatively simple, and re-upload it. So distribution network is fucked by that step process, and then the player can't play their old version of the mod. They must go and download your version. And there is no mod loader, as far as I'm aware, that would make this process a little bit easier to update. So even in those situations, which would attenuate the issues, it's still really ridiculous that there's absolutely no way for mods that are no longer in development to be just fired and forgotten in that sense, right? Like, you can't just deploy it and then ignore it. You have to constantly maintain anything you want to still be playable, which is absolutely insane. That's why as that became very obvious, I just pivoted away from it for the one project that I did do in Remastered. Well, I guess I technically did Nemesis Omega as well. But for the sizable project that I did in Remastered, I just pivoted back to 1.16.1 with it. I backported it and left it there so that I could then work on the update to it and some other stuff without worrying constantly about like repacking the mod and sending it back up. It's just goofy. So them's the breaks, unfortunately. Yeah, patches break maps. Forget about like like game rule files. What's up, Loler? Yes, it's been a while since I've been streaming in your reasonable time zone, even though you're not that far away from me. How you been? I think I'm gonna. I think I'm just gonna try to implement this. What do you call it? This ensnare thing. I don't know how to implement the effect on a button. I can start to do it in a weapon spell hit, I guess. But I can do the effect for weapon damage. Oh, visual effects, like in sprite form? Or are you talking about explosions and sounds? On the menu today, I just fixed up the stuff for the Queen's energy regeneration passive. So that's implemented now. I'm going to do one component of their new spell, which is actually the on-hit effect itself. Because basically they're getting a new spell to provide... basically, they enchant every unit in the surrounding area with an on-hit buff, and that on-hit buff applies Ensnare, which is going to be reduced in power. It's currently ensnared by default in the vanilla game. It reduced movement and attack speed by 50%, unless there was an upgrade for movement or attack speed, in which case it just removed that upgrade, which was really stupid. So we've already changed it to be just more consistent, where it just reduces speeds by 50%. Now the ensnare element is going to be more akin to, well, it's not going to be 50% in terms of its impact. It's going to be 1/3, I think, 33%. But the reason being is because you're going to be able to apply it on a lot more units now if you enchant the right units here. So. Yeah, the good old 2/3s. A lot of this knowledge sounds like you've self-taught and explored. Have you had this chance to use these skills in a specific field as a career outside of your own game development? Nope. I mean, there's probably been some really abstract, broad spectrum, zoomed out, like low resolution stuff, right? That if part of my thinking has been tempered by how I've overcome problems in a modding environment, I'm sure like I've passed that on to a lot of the other things that I've done or the way that I tackle problems. But I don't think that there have been cases where I've said, "Oh, I do this in my modding stuff, and this is going to help me in this area." Like besides the, like I said, the more process oriented things. Like I just know that iteration is going to get me to where I want to be quality wise eventually, and that goes for anything that I'm doing. So in that way, the work that I've been doing has been instructive, but that's been more of like a life lesson than taking this modding thing and applying it somewhere else, or this game development thing and applying it to somewhere else. So we'll say I think there might be an ensnare function. Let me see if it's in here. Maybe not. It looks like we're applying an ensnare timer of 37. My main concern about the ensnare thing regarding its overlays. I don't remember exactly how to apply that overlay though. All right, so we've deployed that. This is gonna sound really stupid, but you know this like snapping thing that I've been doing this just out of habit lately in the last week or so. But it's just because I was like, oh, I can't snap. What the fuck? And then I sort of like happened into a potential way to do it more frequently or whatever. And now I'm just doing it absentmindedly, but now it's more consistent. It's such a fucking like meaningless, insignificant element. But that's just like, oh yeah, I can just do that every now and then to keep myself sharp, to keep my snapping skills up. Like that's like everything else, right? If I spend 5 minutes a day snapping, or spread out across the whole day, eventually I'll be able to do it consistently to a high level. Again, really goofy example, but that applies to literally everything else. So everything else that I've been doing um, has been like that. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't ascended to whistle status yet. I'll let you know when that happens. That's like the whistling that I've ever done in my life has been the accidental, oh shit, I whistled. Not like deliberate at all. But it was funny because I was hanging out with a friend of mine and she was like, she at some point did a snap and I was like, oh, I wish I could snap. This is like a week ago. Um, she was like, what the fuck? You can't snap? I was like, yeah, I can't. I did it by accident once, and then she was like, "Well, your technique is completely off." She just started talking about like you're supposed to like do it with these fingers on touching these fingers and like what the fuck. She takes her snapping a little seriously, I guess. I don't know why this is so far away. What the fuck? All right, so this is ensnaring brood, queen enchant ability. Elite snapper, yeah, dude. Snap musician. Yeah, 30 minutes a day. Like the recommended amount, it probably varies or the optimal amount, I should say, of practicing something probably varies from task to task. But I would say if it's something that you want to really improve on, if you can try to dedicate like an hour a day to it, even if it's spread out, but especially if you can block out an entire hour, at least that's what's been super effective for me. Is like at least doing that much. So. I really suck at programming though. I'm not gonna mince fucking words or anything. I'm like I know my way around GPTP for the most part, but for example, I still don't even know. Like I'm gonna hook up the actual ability here, create the overlay, apply this ensnare timer, update the speed. That's what I'm gonna do in this function, which is gonna be a fairly small function, or I don't even know. This isn't really a function. This is like a method or whatever the term is for that. But in this code, that's what I'm gonna be doing here, and that will take care of the effect. And it's probably not the most efficient way I could do it either, but the main issue here is like I still don't really know how to get a button press read and based on that create I kind of know how to find the units, like I could do that, but I don't know how to tie that unit finding element into like I don't know how to make the condition for that finding the units and giving them the value and creating some sort of read over them. I don't know how to do that and tie that to a condition of a button is pushed. By being able to roleplay a Scanted. The Desert Critter. I kind of want to have somebody add attack animations to the Scanted. Just for map crap. Imagine a Scanted walking up and just making noise at you. But yeah, so send me those explosions whenever you've got them organized. Roller skates, I'll look through them on this stream, I think, actually, after I'm done fucking around with this queen stuff. So I guess, yeah, again, in weapon spell hit is probably where I will... Oh, here's apply ensnare. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move apply ensnare over to API. Should I? It's just not a spell hit anymore, so this would take care of everything actually. So yeah, I think I'll go throw this into API. Even though this might not make the most sense, but let me just jump down to weapon spell hit H because I gotta get apply ensnare. And then throw it in API header. And then in API Is there an API inject? Oh, there is not. Okay, I might have to undo that then. Well, that kind of sucks. Yeah, for Warframe, I only have what you sent me, I think. I think it's just the lasers and melee folder that I have here. I don't feel like I've even looked at the laser folder, honestly, because that first one jumped out to me immediately. But I definitely have. It's just I didn't do too much there. All right, so since we can't move that to API and call it that way, I guess we should probably just take... We have to do it in weapon damage. I just really don't want to inline the whole fucking function. I guess I could move it to weapon damage. Instead of it being in weapon spell hit, we can put it in weapon damage itself. This feels stupid to do that. Oops. Okay. So then I'll take this, cut that, weapon damage, H. Wow, this sucks. Who the fuck? I don't know. Okay. Wow. Okay. Anyway, don't look at that. And then weapon spell hit inject. I have to take apply and snare. And throw it in here. Swear, man. I'm not trying to be very specific and anal retentive about organization, but goddamn, there's no consistency ever. Okay. I think we should be good now. Let me go to weapon damage here. So now all I have to do instead of bothering with... okay, we've set it to 37 here. That's fine. Well, there's still a bunch of units that don't have custom sounds yet. So there's a pretty high chance that there's like use for some of that other stuff. So this is fine. Yeah, everything here looks fine. Let's reorganize some of the code there. Wendigo's missing the laser saw for sure, the fusion saw that I wanted. I feel like maybe some of these units are using the same missile launch sounds. I definitely need a better Skyfall sound than what I have, but that's just an activation sound. I can look into that later. Oh, actually, all of the missile sounds are the same. I mean, they're all different. Okay. Yeah, I guess they all have the right stuff here. Obviously, you guys can't hear these sounds, but yeah, I guess they all actually are completely unique, which is surprising. I assumed that there was missing stuff. Madrigal and Pegasus are similar with their missile launch sounds, yeah, but I think they are different. Maybe it's just because one of them is playing way more. I fucked around trying to make a saw earlier, but it was a failed experiment. So I guess, for lack of a better solution, I will start working on the implementation of the finder that I need. Okay, so I guess there should be timer. UID snaring brood. Do I want it to only affect organic units? I don't think so. I think I'll just do... Legionnaire should definitely have different sounds. It should have a completely different graphic eventually. We just don't have a good one. I don't remember if the Gladius has a custom sound. But yeah, there's a huge number of Protoss ones that need it. The Gladius sound is the same as some others. I don't remember where it is. Which one it is. At least I think it is. I mean, the manifold is technically unique, but it is using it's using a generic sound, and I think it would benefit better if it had different ones. But yeah, Architect also, it just uses the... Oh. They use the same sound. That's where that sound is reused. Right. The Barghest needs a completely different attack. It's supposed to be more like a ray. It currently doesn't have an attack sound. Oh yeah, I'm not even sure which ones need it. I think both of the Ultralisk morphs need new sounds. The Calculeth needs a new sound. So yeah, there's a couple. Okay, so then in weapon damage, I need to change this. So this is get generic timer. Say greater than 1. No, just greater than 0, I guess is probably fine. Okay. Okay, so that'll reference that. I thank you for your service. Yeah, that would be cool. I'll be able to take a look at it for sure. I have noticed that some of them are already kind of loudness ward up, unfortunately. That's why I don't really do too much to them, if I can help it. $12.94 is, yeah, okay. 1301 is, okay. I guess all of the, for the most part, I did nothing with these flags, so that's fine actually. Pariah? I mean, the whole idea behind it is that the unit is essentially this fucking body horror experiment gone wrong. Like initially, the idea was that it was almost like a mad scientist experiment or something, and that was like the origin of like the first pariah, if you want to call it that. And ever since that point, they've kept a record of how to do it because it was incredibly effective in combat. But there's a reason why it's called profane in the tooltip, right? So when it dies, it plays like a screaming sound. I don't know if you've noticed that. So the main idea was that it's like I'm trying to play up the idea that it's perpetually in pain. and maybe not willing to do what it's doing. I haven't done like unit responses or anything yet. It's also like a certain component of its, you can't call it humanity because they're Protoss, but a certain component of their sanity and their personality and their connection to their race is no longer preserved because part of their consciousness has been interfaced with robotics. So the idea is that it's like a very unholy union between an organic Protoss and a robotic, like mechanized experiment. That's where it comes back from. So I'd like something that sounds a little bit like a mechanical servo or something, for the actual swing of the attack, and then some sort of very pained grunt that I'd probably have to record myself and then like overlay into it, like mix into it. And obviously some sort of like plasma or beam laser type discharge sound for the to combine. So it would probably be a 3-step composition. But if you can get some sort of like mechanical swing, I can listen back to like the axe swings and stuff that I've got from Warframe, and then I can also check out the lasers and stuff from a few different sources. And I'm gonna try to composite those in alongside a sort of pained sound from myself. That's a bit of a specialty piece, though. It's not an easy thing to tap back into, or to like just have be general, you know. Oh, epic! See, the worst part about having to go through those fetch quests in order to get those heroes is if they don't end up being powerful enough to justify it. So hopefully he's actually good. That's all I'll say. If you could tell me which folders specifically those servos are in, I mean, I might just stumble upon them anyway later, but could be banging. Dude, my DMs are so long, I can't find anybody who I'm actually looking for. People should change their names to be in all capitals so I can see them easier. Holy moly. Must have scrolled past you. Oh, there you are. Finally, dude. Okay. I'm not sure if... I think Restream chat's broken again. I'll just cross-reference. Yeah. Restream chat's repeating the last message. So I'll just change it to you. That will be much better. I don't know if it's also doing that on... yeah. Reasonable. Well, enjoy that random you happening perpetually. At least I can enjoy that. It's always going to be the last YouTube message that gets cloned every now and then. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think I can close this for now. Oh, cool. Always nice when you get that little bit of serendipity. I'm going to go ahead and pause that. Music, if you can call it music. Close that. All right. When Roller Skates is in the YouTube chat, you know we're gonna be messing around with some audio, so that's pretty cool. I've unmuted my fucking computer sounds, so we're gonna pop into a test in a moment. So it's 1310 to 1312 for the attack. Amazing fucking file name. Bing, 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 ba, bing, bing. Okay. Liar, in my opinion. They're actually a bit loud and overpowering. I'm going to drop their volume. But other than that, I think they're okay. All right, Titterman. Best of luck, dude. Big smooches. You guys think it sounds like a Zerg unit? I'm not even sure what Zerg unit would actually use it, though. I guess it could be part of a composition or something. One thing I think is that even though it's very quick, it does occupy a lot of space, probably on the low end. And I think that contributes to it feeling punchier than it ought to. So I think that'll be a swing and a miss for now, but I like that sound. So I'll find another unit for it. But it does, it's like sort of like the Vassal sounds, right? The Vassal sounds are a little off for such a spammable unit. It sounds a little too powerful. It does sound like a pea shooter, but I think it's because of like the high, like the impact of the low end or something. If it takes up a lot of space. I'm not sure if I could EQ that out without destroying the whole thing, though. Okay. So I think we'll just get rid of this. Create a backup there. 3 and 4 can go. We'll call this 3. And then we'll try this for the manifold. You guys are also hearing it at a much quieter volume than I am, I think. But I still need to make a small overlay. Well, the problem is that these guys do deal pretty decent damage. So, I don't know if that sound accurately communicates how powerful they really are. I'll raise it by 1 decibel, but it's not going to change too much. Yeah, I think that's okay though. We'll keep that for now. Which means, of course, we need to go back to the drawing board for the vassal. So let's go find some shit. I kind of like that, even the the bow idea. So some sort of dude, pistol sounds are actually used for the Star Sovereign. I know that I keep saying that, but that's really fucking goofy to me. Like, why? The back end of this whole sound, the sort of like last second, actually sounds like a Zerg sound to me. Like you hear, it's almost like you're hearing the echo of a jaw, like a jaw sound or something. Like whatever they mixed it with. If you do, I could definitely use that for the Calculeth, I think. What is wrong with you and your file names, dude? Yeah. Full circle, dude. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I can use both of those, I think. That doesn't sound at all like what they actually have in the mixdown. Amazing sample rate inconsistency. Love to see it. Why? 44030, by the way. Reasonable. Oh. Oh, okay. Thanks for the I appreciate the elaboration. What's going on, Stratus? How you doing, dude? Oh. Why? I don't get it. Why did Restream sign me out after I just did this CAPTCHA shit earlier? Classic. Not sure if I can still use this exact thing for the Calculeth. Mostly because they attack so fucking fast, so I need something really, really quick, I think, but let's see what this sounds like. This is either going to sound pretty epic or really stupid. Which one was not? Oh, it was Fire End Sea. Okay. I had to be sure to remember which one that was so that I could take this. Fire End Sea. Put it in there. Delete that. And did I already unpack this? Oh, I guess fucking not, because I don't recall renaming that folder. Okay, we'll call that Pariah maybe, and throw that into the folder here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to, where I wanted to put that. It goes here. Okay. Check this out.
Awaiting command. Locus acknowledged. It will be done. Chaos. Locus acknowledged.
Nope. Forgot to change the sound for anti-air apparently. Can't really hear it because of the projectile, so I think we're gonna take. We're gonna make a copy of the spore flingy and make it quiet. We did the same thing earlier with burst lasers. 19. What do we got here? 649. Secret spores silent. And then Oh, 79. Okay. Oop. What is this? Don't include Envision. Okay. And then this is graphic does not turn. Draw if cloaked. It's not clickable. Don't use full iScript. Okay, it needs a new iScript ID, and GRP ID is 496. Don't know what the fuck that was, but okay. Make a copy here. Epic. Obviously, it's not completely silent. The impact still exists, but whatever. And then the ISID needs to be 541, or no, 542. And then I need to go into config for the calculeth. What the fuck? Oh, apparently the calculeth already had one. $522. Okay. Well, I guess I did that work for no reason then. Pretty goofy. Okay. Anyway, let's check this out. Probably needs to be pitched down, I think. If we're going to get away with this sound anyway. Maybe... I feel like that's a pretty successful torturing of the file, but we'll see in game. still sounds too mechanical for my liking. I think maybe if it was actually done in a way where it was firing less frequently, it would probably sound better. But as it currently stands, that does not seem to fit. So back to the drawing board. Shit, homie. I don't remember how I did the whole Exego run. Maybe I talked about it in my playthrough. I'll take a look at that later. Okay. I gotta use the bathroom, but when I come back, we're gonna be doing more sound hunting. So check that out. BRB. I'm back. Unfortunately, it looks like Restream chat is, I just have to restart it probably. Can I get a U in the chat to test out the chat? Because when it signed me out and made me do the CAPTCHA again, it stopped, there we go. Yeah, it stopped showing chat messages on my client side stuff, but it's still popping up on the stream. So, glad we're back. Glad we're back, boys. What's up, Wuck? Dude, how you been, man? How's your Starcraft adventure going? For those not in the know, Wuck is in the process of taking all of the Counter-Strike insane shit that we do and transporting that experience of playing Counter-Strike against bots. He's bringing it to Starcraft as a meme map. So, hey, with any luck, he might even be able to make it like a multiplayer thing or something. Could be pretty epic. Yeah, hopefully it's easy enough to do. Oh, is that the EMP thing? It's probably possible to create a custom finder, but I don't know if your version of GPTP has our procs with unit matching and stuff. So my thought process is like, for a lot of the stuff that we do in HYDRA, we have this proc here. We feed it a radius and a fixed position to center around the radius. And then for all units found, we iterate through them to see if they match certain conditions. If they don't match those conditions, we return and do nothing. If they do match those conditions, we do stuff. So that's when we would say, let me see a simple one that I just put together for ensnare. Is basically it just checks if the unit is allied to the unit or to the queen. If it's not allied to the queen, then the unit will not receive the buff. There's going to be more shit to this eventually. It'll be like, if units dat base property unit ID and unit property building. And then we'll also check base property unit ID. I guess this would probably be like unit status. So if the unit's not complete or if the unit's a building, don't give it the buff. Yeah. I would sidestep it entirely. I would do my own unit finder similar to this, and then I would apply the damage from the weapon, which would be like unit hit points. You'd have to do some extra calculations for shields, so this is like a very rough cut, but it would be something like minus equals weapons dat damage amount weapon ID plus, or be weapon ID EMP shockwave plus weapons dat. I mean, there's probably a function to actually deal damage, actually. So, yeah, it would be damage HP, and then you'd say weapon This is where you put weapon stat, damage amount, weapon, ID, EMP. And then your finder would pass the attacker, so we would just call it attacker, and then attacking player would be attacker, player ID. So yeah, so then it might be damage with in theory, but I don't know what it is. Let's see. I mean, it has a feature for weapon ID in it, but it also makes you put in the damage, so I don't know why. Maybe that's to make sure that it calculates armor or something. That's probably why it has the damage value, and then it also divides it does math to it based on the type of the weapon, and that's why it makes you pass the weapon ID as well. So that's probably what you'd use unit damage with. So I think for your precarious grenade, you could probably even give it pseudo collision, but I don't really know how. It would be pretty complicated, but my thought was that if it collides with an enemy before if it collides with an enemy before it expires, so you'd give it a timed life, which could be done a couple of different ways, I think. Not sure if there's an easy way to do that. iQuare would know about the time to life thing, but basically you'd give it a time to life, and then if it collides with a unit during that timed life, it would bounce to the next unit. Maybe you could at least do that much. That could be pretty funny. Okay. This does sound like a lot of stock stuff, I'll tell you. I don't think I can open OGG files. I have to export them into WAV first. That's a classic. Can't use that, never mind. Fuck it. Get it out of here. Delete that. What is that? All right, we'll clean this shit up. Yeah, I guess we'll leave that there for the Calculeth for now, and then I'll just see what I can come up with later on. But oh shit! What's up, Cleesus? Thank you and for you and for your 5 Archons, dude. I should make that a little bit smaller, actually. How you doing? Thank you kindly. I always appreciate that sound. Speaking of appreciating sounds, that's what we're doing right now. If you've never watched my stream before because you only got here because of Cleesus, you should know I mod Brood War very frequently. Currently working on a very large project that changes the entire face of the game. And yeah, right now we're adding some sounds. I'm finding sounds so that I can add them to some of the new units. Give them a little bit of a different feel. A lot of these are courtesy of Roller Skates, who's in the chat. He sent me a bunch of these. Apparently his sounds are so powerful they break windows. You better watch out. Wow, this might be the most appropriately stated pistol sound I've heard so far. Well, maybe not. It's just crazy how loud some of these pistol sounds end up being, man. Yeah, when I listened to the actual one. Imagine having a separate file just for the bass. All right, then. Let's check out their shotgun. I don't know what reduced means. I feel like maybe I've already used this. Yeah, the tails are definitely a bit much IMO. Is this a pistol? Why did they composite such a long loop? You know what I mean? I guess they just Do they just like cut it short immediately when you stop shooting, or are you not allowed to stop shooting? That seems really weird. There's an AI folder for this sound, so you know this must be epic. AI specific sounds, by the way. All of these are very Terran. Not too many so far that I've heard that feel like futuristic. The right kind of futuristic. Maybe some of the Titan ones will. Well, I guess that's a fucking change. Dude, that sound, the fucking sound that they're using, has been used in so many contexts. Like, it's so... I don't know what they're actually using, where it comes from, but it's so fucking generic to hear that... That fucking robo noise. I might be able to use these, though, for something. Yeah, I think bursts are actually fairly straightforward, thankfully. Trying to think about what else I could use right now. Titanfall is a different beast, that's for sure. Charge rifle! That's a... No. That's not a... Dude, imagine you get killed by a gun that sounds like this. Oh, fuck. The Inception soundtrack killed me! Ah! That's a lot of damage. Cyber Fart 3, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Unreasonable. Orbital strike. I don't know about that one. How many times can I snap before the the folder loads? That's a very normal sound, honestly. I can't believe that's where I found a normal sound. I ran out of Warframe sounds. What? What the fuck is this sound file? Yeah. You've got to explain this. Dude, their audio files are not... They're in stereo, but they have like random shit on the left side more so than they have it on the right side. Like imagine if you're just staring at it, it shouldn't be popping up like that. Surely you want to play that stuff differently. I might be able to unfuck those. And I don't know where all of the settings that I have like organized on my desktop are. I just know that the ones for that I ran out of lasers in the lasers folder. Dude, these are fucked. Yeah, I'm not experiencing greatness just yet. No. That's not allowed. Dude, this is Cyberfart 3. Maybe I can unfuck those as well, but I'm doubtful. No, this isn't going to be for the ion cannon. I'm going to come back to this file a little bit later on. I want to see if I can make that into... have some element of the... be used for the Kassan Screamer, the Kiskathalor. I have to composite this with an actual ballistic firing sound. Otherwise, it just sounds like random robo noise. Which, surprisingly enough, is not what I'm going for. It may shock you to know. Yeah, that's the idea. I don't know how successful it'll be, though. Dude, that is so insane. That is honestly... That's some of the most insane sound I've ever heard in my life. Hmm. For all of my planning for this sound file, actually, like, I've composited it, right? I think it sounds pretty neat. I have no idea what the fuck to use it for, though. Oops. Accidentally Vegas. I should have a list of shit that actually still needs sound files, honestly, at this point. Uh... not sure about the Protoss. I can't even scroll up and see what your giant list was anymore because of that restart on my chat client. But I know we wanted Ecclesiast attack. We wanted well, it was. I know the Ecclesiast was part of it. I mean, I could just start the game real quick and take a look at what we got here. So, Atreus is one. So that's at the gateway, if I can find that. Amaranth has one, so that's fine. Oh yeah, Legionnaire. I did the Magister and the Manifold today. I think the Barghest has a death sound now.
Standing by.
Yeah, it's a little tinny, but Nathricor has. Oh, I guess it's just the Defiler sound, but I feel like that Defiler sound is potentially fine for them. It should just be shorter. I did the Calculeth, but it's. I should cut the tail if I decide to keep the Defiler, and also like pitch shift down a couple times for token variations. But okay.
Make up your mind.
All crews reporting. Receiving transmission. Dealing frequencies open.
I need more death sound effects, that's for sure.
All crews reporting.
It's my brother's Discord account, dude.
I haven't got all day.
Channel open.
So I think I've got a pretty comprehensive list now, so at least I know what's going on there. Bearing that in mind, I can't think of anything that fits the scale of this sound. So this will just be... I'll just leave this here. All right. I actually feel like that's probably a better sound for that shooting than this. TBH. Let's get rid of that IMO. We still have to find shit for the vassal. That is a fairly high priority for me right now, since I've repurposed the basic stuff. So let's jump back to the proj folder. The Halo ones are super iconic. well, not necessarily iconic, but easily heard, I think. So I probably won't be using any of those. Of course. There's that Gauss fire indoor. Well, I guess we'll check how that sounds, but I don't think it'll be too epic at first glance. Oh shit! Not want to become famous. In what? The folders that you've sent me, or? I do not have a 50 cal, it doesn't look like. Is this, what's this from? I don't know, man. Nice fucking names. Okay. We'll see what happens, man. I'm still looking around some shit. Cool. I can use that. Thank you kindly. Well, I might be able to use it. We'll see. That's all right. I don't think I'll be working on the sound effects for much longer. In fact, it's getting a little chilly over here, so I might just go for some food pretty soon. Call the stream. Brutal. I think I'll drop the volume for that a little bit. All right. I like that though. We'll keep that. Vessel is set. Let me jump back into the to-do. Dude, those are so fucked. That's like basically Titanfall or PlanetSide or whatever all the way over again. Maybe not in terms of organization. I haven't looked at the organization, but definitely in terms of sound quality. Like, holy moly. Ridiculous. All right, we can take Vessel off of the attack list. What do we need here? And I actually have the ion cannon attack sounds, so... I'll just get those added now, I think. A classic, dude. I guess I can shorten the sound file. Yeah, 2.9. So we'll go ahead by 100. What's up, Luciferius? Can you believe I managed to time it out so that this sound file must play for 3 seconds before the ion cannon fires? By the way. I hope DF appreciates that. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. I'll get rid of the ion cannon. Yeah, there you go. What do we want to do next anyway? Maybe the Barghast? See if we hear anything that gives us some pause here. I saw something about that rule change. Apparently, it has to be like it's just another one of those like big tech fucking company policies where they define it in a way that makes you think that if you really give them the benefit of the doubt, you can see how it'll empower them to deal with edge cases that otherwise don't get solved. But they already have that power just by invoking like targeted harassment clauses or whatever anyway. So this doesn't really change that much for them. It only makes it even less arguable when you get into those murky edge case territories, and they can just decide arbitrarily to fuck you, basically. So there's really, all it does is introduce more avenues for them to potentially overstep their bounds and like disproportionately fuck you or whatever. It feels so stupid. Like, I don't know why they insist on doing this stuff again and again. I don't see the connection there. If anything, they would prefer to be able to call them simps, right? Isn't that like a thing for them? Okay. Sorry, I just remembered that I had to do something. What am I changing? I don't know. That didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. IMO. Ooh. Pinger missile. Say less, dude. Meme rifle. Storm rifle, dude. At least it's not from Stormfront. If it's from the Warfront and it's a storm rifle. Yeah, I'm thinking that this would work best for the Empyrean. But unfortunately, the bassy nature of the sound file means that I can't realistically... Maybe I can? Okay, maybe that will work better, actually. I have to drop this even further. Because the basic nature of that opening means that the composite needs to be better. I like the basiness of it for the purpose, but no, and it gets too low. I just have to hope it's not going to sound such shit in game. Well, I kind of like the idea of what you're talking about, so. Just realized that the actual sound files may not match up here with the audio. This might be, I might be able to push it back like an extra 50 frames or something, 50 milliseconds. Of course, Windows decides to destroy me just in time to make the entire file name 3. Yes, it shows our decline as a species and as a society, but at the very least, we have 3. It sounds very quiet to my ear.
Standing by.
But the sync is correct after adjusting the animation. Like, it sounds a lot louder in here than it does in game, but that's probably inescapable, if I had to guess. But I guess if we standardize the volume a bit... I'm just gonna make a backup in case I don't like this. But you know, listening back to it now, it doesn't sound like I've fucked with the volumes the way that I did, so I think that came out alright. It just doesn't sound, it definitely feels like maybe the high end is too low in the mix now. But I don't know exactly how to fix that just yet. You mean to tell me I could have just done this sound file the whole fucking time? You mean to tell me I'm some kind of idiot? Yeah. How do I undo? I mean, how do I redo? The fuck? Is there no fucking redo option? Hello? How? Nope. Already tried it. That's the default thing in this program. Anyway, have a good one. Thanks for your help. Always nice chatting. Catch you next time. Yeah, that definitely needs a boost, but I think that's a better sound overall. And ideally, I'll find a custom, what do you call it? Hopefully I'll find a custom explosion effect. I'll be able to put something like that together that will synergize better, I think.
Contact.
And I think maybe the old one I can probably use for the architect. Except I only need one sound, actually, so... Well, I'll come up with something else for the architect, I guess. But yeah, I think that worked out pretty well. I'll get rid of the Empyrean attack listing here. We'll say, well, I'll say attack impact, but that was always going to be on the list. Yeah, that's pretty productive. Managed to nab a couple extra sounds. Very nice, in my opinion. We got attack weapon sounds for the Vassal, the Manifold, the Magister, the Empyrean, and the Calculeth, which is 5 units that now have sounds that didn't previously. And I think that worked out. But I think that'll also do it for me today. Somehow that was almost a 3-hour mod stream. Doesn't feel like it was that much time at all. But I definitely am hungry. So I am out of here. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll catch you guys for another mod stream pretty soon. I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow, or if it'll be the day after, or if it'll be both days. But there'll be something like that happening. And yeah, bye-bye.